Zay in the house. Welcome to the Nerdverse. Stop everything for a moment, take a deep breath, because before we talk about powers, before we talk about villains, before we even talk about responsibility, we need to face something almost no one likes to confront when it comes to Spider-Man, the loss of innocence. Peter Parker isn't born a finished hero. He's not a closed archetype. He's a character in constant construction, shaped by mistakes, bad choices, impulsive decisions, deep regrets, and consequences that never truly disappear. And today, the path we're going to walk isn't that of the smiling kid swinging between buildings, cracking jokes in the middle of a fight. It's the path of a man carrying far too much guilt for someone his age. A man who matures not because he wants to, but because he's forced to. And let me warn you right now, if you like deep analyses, drop a comment while you're watching, because this video isn't shallow, it's about scars. In the beginning, everything seemed simple. Peter believed there was always a way out, that every villain could be saved, that no decision ever had to be final. This almost naive view of the world is what defines young Spider-Man. He doesn't fight just to win. He fights to fix things, to correct them, to keep people from losing themselves completely. There's an almost childlike hope in his actions, a belief that good, if it insists hard enough, will always prevail. And that's exactly why his clash with Norman Osborn changes everything irreversibly. The Green Goblin isn't just another enemy on the road. He's a distorted mirror. Norman is everything Peter could become if he crossed just one line. A brilliant, powerful, respected man who lost control, not because of weakness, but because of arrogance. During their confrontation, something happens inside Peter that never leaves him. For the first time, he doesn't want to stop the villain. He doesn't want to save anyone. He wants to end it. He wants to kill. And that's terrifying, not because Peter lacks strength, but because he has awareness. What holds Peter back in that moment isn't inability. It's moral choice. When Norman suffers the accident and loses his memory, the narrative throws Peter into a cruel ethical trap. Evil forgets that it's evil. Norman doesn't remember the goblin. He doesn't remember the crimes. He doesn't remember the hatred. And Peter is trapped in an impossible decision. Punish someone who is no longer who they were, or spare them and carry the guilt alone. He chooses to spare him, but here lies a central truth about Spider-Man that many people ignore. There are no free choices. Every decision comes at a cost. That forgiveness doesn't bring peace. It brings weight. It becomes a silent burden Peter carries for years. And if you've ever felt that doing the right thing sometimes hurts more than doing wrong, leave a like right now, because that feeling is the foundation of everything that comes next. Time passes, and unlike other heroes, Peter's life doesn't improve with experience. It gets more complicated, heavier. His personal life begins to slowly collapse, not through massive explosions, but through constant small cracks. Mary Jane Ice and Tea, just a love interest. She represents a possible life. A dull, stable, normal life. But loving someone while constantly lying, disappearing, and putting them in danger is an equation that never balances. Peter and MJ's marriage isn't a fairy tale. It's human, fragile, pressured, full of silence, absence, and guilt. And then comes Gwen Stacy. Gwen's death isn't just a narrative shock. It's a foundational trauma. Peter was there. He tried. He believed he could save her. And he failed. No matter how many justifications exist, the result is the same. She died. And from that moment on, something breaks permanently. Spider-Man keeps saving people, keeps cracking jokes, keeps smiling. But inside, something hardens. Something closes off. If you've ever noticed a more melancholic tone in Spider-Man stories and never quite knew why, comment here. Peter never got over it, because he really didn't. After that, the character enters a spiral where doubt begins to corrode his identity, and this fully explodes during the Clone Saga. Imagine waking up one day unsure if you're real, if your memories are yours, if your pain belongs to you or was... This doubt isn't just narrative, it's psychological. Peter starts questioning everything. Who he is, what his place in the world is, whether he deserves to keep existing as... Here, the character definitively stops being just a young hero and becomes the embodiment of a deep existential crisis. It's no longer about villains, it's about existing. Meanwhile, the guilt keeps piling up. Every past choice returns like an echo. Every sacrifice charges interest, until the most silent and perhaps most cruel blow lands, Aunt May discovers the truth. There's no triumph in this revelation, no heroic catharsis. There's pain, there's fear. There's a fragile elderly woman facing the weight of knowing that the boy she raised lives a life of constant danger. For Peter, this is almost unbearable. Everything he does seems to hurt the people he loves. If you've ever felt that taking on responsibility sometimes only increases the pain, share this video with someone who understands Spider-Man beyond the surface. And then we reach the most controversial point of this entire journey, the pact, the deal that divides fans to this day. When Aunt May's life is at risk, Peter is faced with an impossible choice. And for the first time, he chooses not to carry the weight alone. He accepts a deal that erases his marriage from existence. A pact that saves a life, but destroys an entire history. Memories, bonds, growth, everything. And here emerges a question that will never have a simple answer. Was this selfishness or desperation? Because Spider-Man has always been about sacrifice. But this Chini, the sacrifice wasn't physical. It was emotional, existential. He gave up something that defined him as an adult, as a man, as a partner. He undid an entire arc of maturity, and that is devastating. If you made it this far, comment with great power in the comments that lets me know who's really following this journey to the end. In the end, Spider-Man isn't the hero who always wins. He's the hero who keeps going even while losing, even while failing, even while living with consequences that can't be fixed. He matures not because he wants to, but because circumstances forced him to, and maybe that's exactly why he remains so human, so close, so real. If this video made you see Spider-Man in a different light, leave a like now. It helps the channel a lot to keep bringing deep analyses like this. Share it with that friend who thinks comics are simple. And comment below, what was the most painful moment in Peter Parker's life for you? Zay in the house, and I'll see you on the next dive into the